Hello there, and thank you for watching this video. This here is a update on the last year which I spent working with Price Seere and the Grand Duchess Bune. Worked with both of them all year long. Actually started at the late 2020. And it's very simple. I simply wrote out what I wanted to accomplish, and I had the sigil for each of them as I lit the candles and called to them anywhere from, once a week, maybe stretched it out to 3 or 4 weeks. It just depends on how life was going, what else I was doing, working and such. But I always kept them in my mind, and I always try to thank them at least every day for their help and getting me to go forward. So, my intent was always to work with them, to try to follow their nudging, their direction. So it took me a little bit to get into the groove of it, so to speak, but I gotta say, over this last year, just got the W-2, I actually did better than I thought I did. So I am very thankful to both Price Seere and the Grand Duchess Bune. Grateful to both of them. And as I had written down in my paper when I first started working with them, that I would thank them, of course, make a video thanking them, of course, so everybody else would know how Price Seere and Grand Duchess Bune helped me. Now, is that going to be the same for everybody? Probably not. But they can be a great benefit in helping each and every one of you. Now, some say, don't know what to do to work with them. Well, it's basically the same for each and every spirit you choose. Do your research. Find the one that you are looking for to help you with a certain matter, whatever that is. Find a quiet time to do and talk to them. It always helps, or it helped me to write it out. And then I can revert back to it each and every time I talk to them. Say, hey, it's going great on this part, but can you help me with this? Can you help me help myself to do better, to learn more, to put the right pieces together? Now, of course, they can help you, and they will help you, but they nudge you this way, they nudge you that way. The right people come into play that you may or may not know about. They kind of work behind the scenes, which works great. So, in all that is what you have to go into. Now, for me, I use a candle, I use the paperwork, and the sigils. I think the sigils are an important part of it. But some people don't have access to printing the sigils or being able to draw the sigils. And if that's the case with you, then I would strongly suggest your intent. To me, the intent is half the battle. The intent to help yourself. The intent to work with the spirits that you so choose to improve your life. Whatever that may be for you, because everybody's different. Everybody wants to look at it differently. And please, make your paperwork when you fill it out, your request, make it realistic. Don't put on there that you want to grow wings, because that's not going to happen. But I guarantee out there in the world, somebody is doing that. And if it happens to you, let me know. I would really be interested to know that. So please let me know that part. But the biggest thing is to be successful, or for me to be successful, is to work with them. It doesn't have to be on a daily basis. And some say you got to work on them at nighttime or daytime to work with them. I work with them when I can, because in my mind, throughout the world, people have different circumstances in their life where they can or cannot work with the spirit world. It could be they work all the time. It could be they're not working at all, but their family or where they're staying is very much against that. So they gotta be kind of secretive to work with that. So therefore, they have to work on it when they can. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my feeling. And I firmly believe the spirit world knows that too. As long as your intent is to work with the spirits, to honor those spirits, and to honor what you put down on your paperwork. If you put down that you're going to talk to people about them, then do it. If you put down that you're going to make videos, such as what I'm doing, then do it. Follow through with what you say you're going to do, because you expect them to follow through. Yep, you sure do. So it's only right that they expect you to do the same thing, to hold up your end of the bargain. And let's be honest, in today's world, a lot of people want to take, but do not want to hold up their end of the bargain. And to me, that's where they fail. And of course, once you start with Prince Seere, Bune, or whoever you so choose, you may find yourself saying, hey, that worked out great. Took a while, but it worked out great. So who else can I work with to achieve whatever it might be? To me, what I'm working on now is to achieve not being so afraid of working with the spirit world. And you would think, in doing this for, 40 years, I would be over that now. And I am to a point. But I think it's them ETs. They just mess everything up. But we're working on it. And I've asked other spirits to help me. UFIR, for example. UPHIR. The medical doctor of the underworld. To help me increase my abilities, because I want to be good at it. I think I'm pretty good at it now. But I want to be better at it. To help me get there. To help me help myself get there, because it's a two-way street. They're not going to do it for you. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the time. And some of us work a lot. I work 50 to 60 hours a week. Gotta pay the bills. And then I do this when I can. But I am trying now to make an effort to do this more often, to do a better job of it, to increase my abilities, to increase my income by helping others. And to do that, I'm asking Bune, I'm asking Prince Seere, I'm asking UFIR, and a couple of others to help me achieve what I want to achieve. And for each one, I write it down. I have their sigil, and then I proceed with it. I don't get in a hurry. In my initial working with a certain spirit, I'll do it at night when my wife's gone to bed, or when I'm off and she's working and I have the house to myself, and just put things where I need it and go through it. And that way, for me, I concentrate on that. I do. Now also, for me, I also work with Hecate. And the reason for that is she's a protector and she helps people improve themselves. If you're working with witchcraft, if you're working with energy, she's a protector. She can help you. And that's why I work with Hecate also. So I work with different spirits to achieve different outcomes, but I also try to weave them all together. Some may say, well, you can't do that. They don't like working with each other. Okay, that's fine. But I put the candle up, the sigil, in my list. For each one, I go through it. I close it out and thank them, because I always do thank them for listening, for helping. And then I take a deep breath, maybe get up and do the next one. For me, that works for me on my time constraints and what all I've got going on. And for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's working evidently. It's working well for me. But the true diehards out there may say, oh, you're doing that wrong. You can't do it that way. And this and that. Well, the only thing I can tell you is you got to do what's right for you, boo. That's it. If it feels good for you, if it's not hurting anybody else, then do it your way. Do it what feels right for you. Do your research. Now that's important. Whether it be by book, talking to other knowledgeable people, looking on the internet. And on the internet, you can find out anything. A lot of it's crap. But still look at it, because information is information. You just have to weed through it to get the right information that you're looking for. Just because it doesn't sound good or work well for you doesn't mean it's not going to work for somebody else. And that's the key. Use what's good for you and go from there. That is how you'll be successful with this. And talk to people if you can. Because let's be honest, some people, they just don't want to hear it. They don't want to know anything about it, and don't even want to be associated with anybody that is doing that. So, you got to pick your own battles. But one thing I have found out in doing the research on the different spirits and entities of a lot of the so-called demons, if you read back through history and do the research, some of them were just gods or entities that the ancestors worshipped or asked for help. And then as time went on, Christianity come through and such, they got demonized. So food for thought there. You gotta do what's right for you. Make your decisions on that. Try to make positive decisions and do it for yourself. That is the key. That's my opinion of that is the key. And I'll be happy to work with anybody and to help anybody, because we're not in it by ourselves. We have to help each other to be successful. And some say, well, when you come into this lifetime, you've already made the plans to do X, Y, and Z. And I believe to a point that is true. I really do believe that. But you also have your own makeup of what you got to make those decisions. Are you going to listen? I couldn't tell you the number of times where I didn't listen. Kicked myself in the butt for not listening. Know good and well I should have, but didn't. And being in management and stuff like that, it's fact-based. And that hadn't helped me much, but I'm getting back into it now. I realized that for me to enjoy life, I need to get back into working with the spirit world, the paranormal, whatever you want to call it, and helping people with it. And that's what I'm going to do. And Bune and Price Seere I firmly believe are helping me by nudging me to do this. See how it all works back around? Nudging me to follow up on that. Now, it doesn't mean I'm just going to go out and quit the job and go do that. Nope, still got to pay bills. That's not going to change. You do get bills. So, but to me, they are nudging me to do this, to follow through with it, to follow up with it, and to working with the other spirits, to hone my abilities better, like they were years ago when I got away from it and I'm getting back into it. Whether it be with hypnotherapy, whether it be using Reiki, energy work, working with crystals, plants, whatever it may be. Now the ETs, them rascals, we're going to have a discussion with them people. That's just it. Because they just screw up everything. But we'll see. We'll work with them. But I firmly believe it'll get better. It's already gotten better. But the things I still can't do, tarot readings, I suck at that. Dowsing rods, that's a hit and a miss too. I enjoy doing it, but I realize it's a hit and a miss. I'm trying to get better at that. Because in the history, the people who have learned how to do that and do it correctly have done amazing things, not only for themselves, but to help others. And that's what I enjoy doing, helping others. And using my abilities, and to get my abilities better by tapping into the paranormal, the universe, talking to the spirit world, working with the spirit world, seeing the dead people. I've seen those before, talked to them. So it's out there. People will say, oh, it's all in your mind. Well, then I got one heck of a vivid imagination then. When you're working with angels and you're working with spirits, the spirits like entities, gods, Price Seere, Grand Duchess Bune, Ufer, and others. Hecate is another one. But they all work. You have to choose what's right for you, what you have that calling for. But now be honest. Be honest about this. There are some spirits out there. They're not very nice. They're hateful. And they're not in the game to help you. They're in the game to probably piss you off and make your life miserable. So try to avoid those. That'd be awful nice. I do. I don't want to have anything to do with them. Nope. So in that aspect, I try to make my abilities powerful. For those who have came to me on the other planes and were not very nice, or didn't want to play nice. And we just had one last night, and then we had a discussion with them, and it didn't work out well for them. So always remember there's people out there that are more knowledgeable and more powerful than you are. They're out there. They're here for a reason. Sometimes they do not even know the reason why they're here. So my goal is to help others, to continue to work with Price Seere and Bune, have another great year by working with them. Absolutely. And Ufer and the other ones, because I'm sure there's going to be other ones. I'm sure there's going to be other spirits I'm going to work with. And I'll be continuing to making more videos. And I also have a podcast that I'm working on too, called The Supernatural Connection. Yep. And the same thing here. I changed the name here to The Supernatural Connection so they would meet up as I continue to expand the two. And there again, to weave them together, to move forward and to increase the income. Let's be honest. It's all about increasing the income. And by helping others, I can increase my income. helping me help myself to help others. Works well for me. But anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble. You can send me an email to Gary R. Green, MSN.com. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So, there again, thank you very much, and take care.